So, what is the evolution of standardized testing in California? Standardized testing has the earliest record coming from China, where people who wanted government jobs were tested on Confucian philosophy and poetry. Standardized testing in California, however, has drastically evolved since that time. In 1961, it was first established by legislation for statewide testing in reading, writing, and math for 5th, 8th, and 10th graders. In 1972, the California Assessment Program was created in order to test students in reading for 2nd and 3rd grade and reading, writing, and math for 6th and 12th grade. 1983 to 84, the Golden State Exam, GSE, was established to recognize students in 7th through 12th grades who passed end-of-course tests. In 1991, the California Learning Assessment System, CLAS, was established for grades 4th, 5th, 8th, and 10th. In 1995, there was no testing except for GSE. The Pupil Testing Incentive Program, PTIP, was created to test reading, writing, and math in grades 2nd through 10th. The assessment of applied academic skills was authorized as well in order to have content and performance standards in reading, writing, mathematics, history, and science for grades 4th, 5th, 8th, and 10th. In 1997, the Standardized Testing and Reporting, STAR, replaced PTIP. This tested reading, spelling, writing, and math for grades 2nd through 8th, and reading, writing, math, history, and science in grades 9th through 11th. In 1998, SAT 9 was given as part of the STAR program. In 1999, the California Standards Test, CSTS, for English and math was added to STAR. The high school exit exam was additionally authorized and the Academic Performance Index, API, was established. In 2001, the California English Language Development Test, CELT, was first given. In 2002, the STAR program was reauthorized until 2005. In 2003, the CAT 6 replaced SAT 9 for STAR. The California Alternate Performance Assessment, CAPA, was added to STAR for students with significant cognitive disabilities, and the GSE was given for the last time due to budget cuts. In 2004, the 5th grade science CST was added to STAR, and science tests were developed for 8th and 10th grades due to no child left behind requirements. Finally, in 2013, the STAR program ended and the California Assessment for Student Performance and Progress, or CASP, which is also known as the Smarter Balance Test, was authorized to accommodate for Common Core state standards.
As a parent, you've heard a lot about standardized tests, and you probably have a lot of questions, like, where do these tests come from? Are they effective, accurate, and fair? Pearson wants to help you answer these questions. Let's take a look at how that test arrives in front of your child, so you can see the whole process for yourself. Every test really begins with state standards. A committee of educators, administrators, and experts carefully construct a set of standards that specify what a student should know by the end of the school year. These guidelines are the foundations for both classroom instruction and assessments. Once content standards are in place, the state selects a testing partner to work closely with educators and administrators in developing the assessment. Developing a test can take up to 3 years to complete. Why so long? Because Pearson follows the highest standards established by these key organizations. It's a highly collaborative process. Everyone comes together to create an accurate and useful tool for evaluating your child's learning. Here's how it's done. First, education experts, most of whom are former or current teachers from the state and who have deep expertise of the subjects and grade level, create test questions that test what's being taught. These range from multiple choice to essay questions and more. State education experts, classroom teachers, and higher education faculty review each question multiple times. Everyone works together to ensure that each question addresses state standards, and a lot of time is given to verify that there is only one correct answer to each question. The questions are then field tested with groups of students. A field test is a test of each question before it can be used for student scores. Only field test questions that perform well and are fair are accepted for use on a future test. Field test scores never count as part of a student's score. It's important to see if differences like gender or race affected how students responded and whether the responses accurately reflect how students are doing in school. The results are reviewed, and if an item doesn't perform well, it's dropped. When the final test is assembled, a mix of challenging and easier questions are chosen to provide a good range of knowledge and skill assessment. The test isn't final until everyone involved verifies it as an effective measurement of what students have learned. Lastly, states make decisions about how well students must perform to pass or be proficient. Performance standards give a frame of reference for understanding the test scores. They help parents, educators, and administrators clearly understand how well students are learning. It's only after this rigorous, multi-year process that a test makes its way to your child's classroom. Now that we've reviewed what goes into making a test, we hope that when the next test day rolls around, you'll have fewer questions and more answers.
For decades, we've been debating how to improve schools in the United States. This has been born from a realization that, in an ever-changing world, our students need better knowledge and tools to prepare them to compete in the global economy. In math, science, and reading, our students haven't been keeping pace with their most advanced international peers. Persistent and dramatic achievement gaps still exist in our country. College remediation rates are abysmal, and employers say students are unprepared to perform and thrive in the workforce. The need to audaciously confront these issues resulted in a remarkable collaborative effort, the promise of consistent, shared, and rigorous education standards for all students that align with college and work expectations, a new set of ambitious academic standards to set the foundation for even greater student growth and success. These standards, now being implemented by more than 44 states across the nation, were built upon strengths and lessons learned in states. They were informed by other top-performing countries and grounded in research and evidence. And practitioners, content experts, teachers, researchers, and leaders in higher education and business all came together to make it happen. These standards were developed by states and for states. They are the clearest statements yet about the knowledge and skills that students need to master in order to be prepared for college and the workforce. The standards were designed with great care to ensure that they were clear, consistent, rigorous, and relevant. All are undeniably important when it comes to preparing students to successfully meet the demands of college and the workplace. Thanks to the unprecedented collaboration among states, young people, regardless of their background or where they live, will be taught to standards that, once mastered, will have prepared them for college and career success. The vignettes that follow explain the standards in far greater depth. Standards writers walk us through how the standards came to be, who was involved, and the aspirations the standards set for all students. Take a glimpse into the promise of these standards as states do the hard work of implementing them with fidelity and care. Use what you hear to start engaging conversations, stimulate creativity in the classroom, help align expectations, and get communities involved. Find out why state standards are far from common.